So are you a big wrestling fan or just a big Ric Flair fan?
Both. I like
Yeah.
Rick. But yeah, wrestling in general. Yeah, my uncles used to put me on game with that. I remember just getting put in the figure four leg locks.
All right, guys. Well, welcome back to the Late Night Level Up. Here with me today, Troy Trouble Jones. Really excited to have him on. We've been off for a few weeks now, and man, what a way to come back! One of the greatest fighters in American history, as far as I'm concerned. You actually, you're the first person I've had on the show that I haven't met in person yet, too.
Oh, okay, yeah,
Which
yeah.
is also kind of crazy. I can't believe our paths haven't crossed yet. Kind of sucks, man. I'm a
Yeah,
big
nothing
fan,
to
and
do
I'm
with the
excited.
IFMA team. I just wasn't on it that year. I had some other stuff going on.
Yeah, yeah. No, that's understandable. So when did you start training? For the people that don't know.
I, I want to say I started in 2013. Brittany, when I started training, 2013 or 2014? So I started training in 2013,
Oh wow.
and I did a full year of just training, and then I fought at the TBAs 2014, pretty much
Okay.
like a year later.
Damn, that's gangster. So and then when you started off, were you always like Muay Thai was what you wanted to do, or did you have like MMA
Muay Thai from the start.
right
I
off the start?
This is like watching like I'm sure a lot of fighters have these movies that they seen like Kickboxers,
Mm-hmm.
Bloodsport, um, what was it, Best of the Best, stuff like that. Like those movies I seen when I was a kid, and then like so it was Muay Thai. Like my favorite scene in Bloodsport was when Jean Claude Van Damme was going against Paco.
Yeah.
They were like back and forth, and then they're like,
Yeah. Come on.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm like, I saw that, and I'm like, man, what is that? And then I found out that it was Muay Thai.
Yeah.
I always had some knowledge of Muay Thai, so when I came into the gym, I'm like, when they asked me what I wanted to do, I'm like, yeah, I just want to stand up because I was never like a wrestler or anything, so
Yeah.
I never had any like ambitions to wrestle or
Yeah.
grapple. So I was just like, all right, let me just do Muay Thai.
Yeah. Those movies like accidentally spawned a lot of, I feel like especially a lot of American Muay Thai
Oh,
hopefuls,
sure, I'm
for
sure.
sure. Cause I know I was, as a kid, I grew up watching all the same movies too. So obviously Bloodsport. I was doing Taekwondo at the time, and then I couldn't find a Muay Thai gym when I was a kid in this area. I wanted to do it, especially when I saw a kickboxer.
Yeah,
And yeah, Paco had swag too. Paco, and there was another guy that had the tied trunks on too. That got his like leg blown out later, but he was tight too. So you definitely had a little bit of extra swag, those guys.
like he had
Yeah.
bounce. He had the bounce. So I'm like, what is that?
Yeah. Yeah, it was vicious. Yeah, it's funny that those movies, I think got a lot of our piqued a lot of our interests. And yeah, I couldn't find it. I switched over to Kyokushin, which was like the closest thing I could get when I was like 12, and like really went hard with that for a long time. And I didn't get into Muay Thai until I was 26, which was 2006. That was when I started training. And then
I was 25 when I started.
you're 25. Oh man. So see, I kind of like was really planning on like competition. That's all I ever wanted to do. I never had any intention of being a coach. And then I kind of took the coaching position as like a way, because I was working a full-time job, as like I'm like thinking in my mind, I'm like, oh, this is gonna set me loose to be able to like really take a run at this.
Right.
And then I like hurt my knee, so I kind of like, wow, I'll pick up some more classes and start. And then like, people start relying on you to be there for stuff, and then it just kind of got away from me.
Yeah, injuries have that effect, man.
Yeah.
It's crazy. I'm blessed that I haven't had any like serious like injuries ever, even playing football. Like I never had any. Knock on wood.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah, definitely do that.
blessed for that. So I've never like had to sit on a sideline based on like not being able to like function in what my sports that I was doing.
What position did you play in football?
I played safety.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah,
You
play
you
well.
you're
Pretty much
probably pretty quick, huh?
matter in our defense. It didn't matter what if you were free or strong, because both came down because we were
Okay.
tacklers and all that.
Yeah. I only played 1 year. I played my what would have technically I guess been my senior year. I was a knucklehead, so uh, and my mom, so my mom wouldn't let me play. It's crazy because she didn't all my like as a young kid I wanted to play, and she was like, no, you're gonna hurt yourself, you're gonna get brain damage, and but she would drive me to my taekwondo tournaments and let me
Right.
just slump. And it might have been different if I was getting my ass beat though too. So she might have took me
Right.
out of that too, but. Yeah, I was bummed out. I by the time I tried it, like I feel like that's something you gotta like you
Yeah.
gotta grow up a little bit in it so you because there's a lot going on. Like
Yeah, there is.
I originally tried to play offense and I just did all the plays and everything. There was just no way. So then they moved me over to a linebacker and I was like, what do I do? And he was like, just keep your eye on the ball and hit that motherfucker. I was like, bet I can do that. That sounds good. That sounds all right. That sounds like fun.
Yeah.
Man, that's crazy. Um, so like when you started off though, were you like this is something I want to do like for fun, or were you like, man, I want to take a run at this?
Uh, I mean, at the beginning, it was more so just finding something to do with my time because I was used to being like on like a strenuous schedule.
Yeah.
I was in class and football training, practice, study hall, and a bunch of like my days were filled. And then when I graduated, I was just working. So I'm like, all right, I need to find something to do. Like I was just lifting weights and getting really big, doing that stuff. And like my degree is in law enforcement, so I figured that if I were to learn how to can handle myself within like hand to hand combat, that I would be a more efficient police officer.
For sure.
And and then that was the main focus at the time. And then I was just training, and then I got into sparring. I'm like, okay, this is kind of fun. Like I'm enjoying it. Then like I started looking online, finding like this, what is there? Because I had no idea. I never watched
Right.
kickboxing or Muay Thai as a sport on TV, so I didn't really understand if there was like a lane that could be pursued. So I found it. The TBAs was the tournament that I found, and then I signed up. Like probably like maybe I had just started when the 2013 started, so I was like probably like 6 months in, and I signed up for the tournament that following year.
Yeah.
So like, all right, let me just try this out. Then I went in, and then like I handled business and I won, and I'm like, all right, I'm pretty good at this. Let me
Yeah.
seeing what happens, and then I was like, all right. And then I did a couple more tournaments and was winning. I'm like, okay. Then I'm like, all right, what is like the professional stuff? This is 2014, so Glory had just started, and I'm like, oh shit. Like I'm seeing it on TV. Like I'm like, oh okay, there is actually a place where you can become like do it like professionally.
Yeah.
Like all right, because I didn't know anyone in the sport or in the community or anything. I was just going off of what I found online.
Right. Yeah, that was I remember 2013 when they were like kind of like really ramping up and they said they were going to start doing shows here and
Mhm.
they were giving out those big ass checks and I was like, man,
Yeah,
this that was like the most exciting time right
it was.
then.
That's what I saw. I'm like, oh shit! Like I'm trying to get some of that.
Yeah, it was crazy because the checks went like this, and then they started just going down like that, and then them shits just disappeared. I was like,
So
no.
someone else bought them.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a bunch of shit.
But I mean, I get it. Like I was like, man, they must have some serious money behind them because I was like, how they're like, that's never been done, really. They were just like, yeah, 300,000, 400,000. Here you go, one night. Yeah,
Like,
K1.
that's like there was nothing like that. At least that
Mm-mm. Not in like those single night tournaments like that, like throughout the year. They were like, I was like, man, Glory is doing it. And then still just for whatever reason, TV wise, I feel like it's just still never like really caught fire here like it should, and it doesn't make any sense.
everybody likes to see the standing and banging.
Yeah, but they
Only
don't support it though. It's weird.
when it comes to MMA.
Yeah, it's so bizarre because like I'm trying to think what year. Well, it might have been 2014. Though it was Glory New York with with
Trojan, Andy Rick.
yeah, yeah, man, that place was sold out, like
What,
nothing but wall
where
to
you been
wall, big fans. Yeah, we drove up for it. I had to go to that one. Um, I was so hyped because like I had my we were in a good spot to sit to watch it, and they kept coming by with the camera to like get
there?
the crowd reaction. And I had this I have a t-shirt company called Urban Ninja, and
Yeah.
I had like the phone case with it, so I kept holding that up every time the TV thing came by, and everybody was texting me, yo, I seen you on TV. I was like, yeah, I got a little free public. Yeah. But that night was crazy. And like I mean everybody was there, was obviously a huge fan. They sold out the theater, and I was like, man, this is like really gonna do something.
I did fights too. Like Andy Risky knocked out Trojan.
And Robin that
Mm-hmm.
night. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was crazy. Joe Schelling fought Wayne.
Hold on a second.
Yeah,
I,
go for it.
you saying Wayne Barrett?
Yeah, Wayne Barrett fought Joe that night. That was they had their crazy fight. I think man, I was sitting next to these two guys, and Brian Collette was fighting, and he has that like low stance, and they were like, oh man, he's gonna get knocked out. And I'm like, nah, he's got this crazy head kick he pulls from there, and like 2 seconds later, wow, he came with the head kick and knocked it. They were looking at me like, what the fuck? I was like, yeah, I told you, man. He did. He like baits them in, and he wings this that big head kick and just crushes them.
I remember seeing that. And like Wayne Barrett, he was like one of the first like American fighters that I actually saw. And like just being a black man, like I saw him, oh shit, like there's actually black dudes doing this. So I'm like,
Yeah,
okay, I have like I can do something with this just watching him. And then I
yeah,
got to meet him one night at Friday Night Fights. I don't know when, maybe 2016 or something like that, 2014, something like that. And like I'm like, oh shit, like I'm meeting this dude that I just watched on TV. It was
right.
pretty dope. And
And
Cole.
that yeah, yeah, it was that was a big night, dude. Brian won by head kick that night. Obviously Andy,
Mhm.
Andy won, Wayne won. My friend, I got a good friend, Francois Ambang. He fought on
Yeah,
there
yeah,
that night too.
I remember that one too.
Yeah. Um, yeah, that was a big night, man. It was cool. It was cool for like you said, it was definitely cool for America in general too, just to see some Americans win and stuff like that. Was a big deal because better than anybody. We're counted out immediately from
Oh
day one.
yeah,
That's why I always talk about you all the time. Like Troy's our hope, man. Troy's the guy who's gonna shut their asses up. You know.
I've been trying. I've
Yeah,
been
no, you've been doing a great job with it. How many fights did you have before you went to IFMA?
like 14.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was like 14, and then maybe 16. I think it was 14 because I ended up with 4 fights, and maybe it was only 11 because I ended up with 4 fights or 10 or something like that, and then I got to 16 fights afterwards.
yeah. What was that experience like?
Man, it was dope. Um, just being in Thailand, like that was the first time I went to Thailand, and just seeing like all these big countries, like man, it was crazy. Like 100 fighter teams, like Russia and Turkey,
Yeah,
and like just it was just the atmosphere is different. It's like like everyone is there serious. The competition level is high. Everyone's training. Like all of us were training. They're basically in the same area, so we're
yeah,
like checking each other out. Everyone.
yeah.
It's funny. Like before weigh-ins and all that. Like that first day, everyone's just mean mugging each other. Like
Right.
something. Like I got to experience that and like just hearing like like how big the sport is, like just seeing how big the sport is around the world. It's huge. Just like the support of like these hundred people teams. Like I'm fighting people like their government are sponsored by their government
Yeah.
and they're getting paid. Like yeah, the guy I fought in a gold medal match, he was from Turkey, and they're like, yeah, he get paid $30,000 if he beats you. I'm like,
Damn.
hell no, he ain't about to get paid.
Yeah. Damn.
Paying to go there, so it's like, nah,
Right.
I gotta come out here with something, and I gotta come back with some gold. And that was like
Yeah.
the goal going in, is to come back with gold, and then just to prove myself too. Just prove to myself that I'm at that high level,
Yeah.
and I did, and I ain't looked back since, to be honest.
Nah, no reason to, man. That was such a, I mean, I feel like I remember that year. I remember there was like some buzz going in. You know, we were all excited for you. We were excited for like Janet. Like, you know, there was a good team that year. I've always, I'm like a fan. Like I'm like a fan of the American team. Like
Right,
from the
right.
get. You know, I'm with you guys if I'm there. I'm with you guys if I'm not there. Like I hate that we get slept on. I feel like as we get over the next like 5-10 years, like we're gonna look back at the fighters like you and Janet and some of the other ones that have done really well over there and be like that was the start of like a new era because I do think that we have the ability to catch up. It's just, we got a lot of work to do.
It's programs, stuff around the country.
Yeah, that's what's gonna change it. That's definitely what's gonna change it for sure. But yeah, that was huge. I mean, I feel like we all felt that when you won that medal. Everybody was just like, for me, I felt like super excited and then also kind of like, okay, so finally, like we were, like God damn it,
Yeah, I had that feeling too, just going in. Like I felt it, like everyone sending all the love and all that, and you just can feel it. Like in like being in the store, like in the coaches, like we had some really experienced coaches, Brian Popejoy, Mark Beecher, and Ricardo Perez, and yeah, like they were telling us, like, yeah, man, like when you go over there, they're gonna count you out and all this, and just telling us like how it is, like how they view Americans over there, and like they just everyone's against you, they're gonna hate you, whatever, and so you ain't gonna get any breaks. If it was
hmm
close, they might go the other way. So you gotta go out there and like really dominate.
yeah, yeah, it's wild, man. I never experienced anything even close, and I've been to a lot of different tournaments. Obviously, you've had people on Glory, Lion Fight, all that stuff, but there's nothing like IFMA.
No,
And
it's pro fighters. It's not
yeah.
pro am. Only people that's bringing amateur fighters is probably Western countries,
hmm
America, maybe France. No, not even France.
Yeah, France had a lot of pros
That's
too.
pros.
Yep.
So like we're like might be the only ones that's bringing technically amateurs to
Right.
the tournament. It's all you're fighting pro fighters. It's not an amateur tournament. If you got pads on, but
Yeah.
it's
That
fighting
doesn't
pro
mean
fighters,
shit.
especially
Yeah.
when it comes to those big countries like Russia and Belarus and
hmm
all those countries. Like you're fighting their best fighters, their
Yeah,
best.
for sure. Yeah, it's been I like I said, even as a fan, it's exciting to be there because you're like when I wasn't coaching, I was in there all day just watching fights because I'm like, oh, I can't wait to see these two go at it. Yeah,
It's
it's
like
crazy exciting.
I fought in there. Artem Levin,
Mm-hmm.
uh,
Artur Kashenko, that's like my one of my favorite guys.
Simon Marcus,
Yep.
uh,
Shevchenko,
Shevchenko,
yep.
even like the dude I fought, Vital Haruk.
Yeah.
He's like fucking 17 times. Artem Vakitov has
Yep.
fought in it. Alex Pereira's fought in it.
Mm-hmm.
And the list goes on. Peshmanchu. It can continue.
Nah, it's crazy.
And
It's crazy. Yeah, and even just like even getting used to the scoring and everything is like that was a whole other thing.
it is for sure. But for me, what I just went in, I'm like, if I know if I dominate, I'm
Yeah.
winning rounds.
Yep.
So
100%.
it doesn't matter if I landed X amount of kicks to the body. But if I
Right.
dominate and if I'm kicking and I'm dominating, the points is gonna go my way regardless because
Of
it's
course.
about damage along with like the volume. But I think
Yeah.
trumps all. Like if you look like you're winning the fight, you're most likely
And
winning.
I like that about that. And I think I was relieved a little bit when we got there, because you I've been like this about every tournament, anything that we do. They're like, this is how it's scored, this is how it's gonna be, and I'm always like, okay. And then I go and watch the fights, and I'm like, I like to see it for myself. I like to
Yeah.
see like what's getting the hands raised and stuff
Oh,
like that.
absolutely.
And I felt like as soon as we got there, I looked at Aaron and I was like, yeah, this is cool. This is what we do. You got to look like you're winning. It's not just, okay, you slapped a body kick with your foot and it touched, and
Right.
and I
No.
think that's like a misconception that a lot of people have, that there's this like whole other style of Muay Thai out there where all you got to do is body kick. It doesn't matter if it's showed any effect or anything. Like if you throw 7,500 of them, you're just
Yeah.
gonna win if your head's getting
A
snapped
50
back
up
and stuff
and
like
your
that.
ribs is broken. I'm probably winning.
Yeah, yeah, that'll do it. That'll do it. Yeah, we had the dreaded I like the live scoring. We had in Aaron's second fight, she lost the first round, and everyone would basically, it was like, and it wasn't like that was untrue. Usually, if you lost that first round, like you couldn't come back, and she actually was able to win round 2 and 3, which was crazy too. But that, like you said, just came from digging down and just throwing shit hard and outworking and outscoring, and she made it happen.
Get long, you gotta take it. It
Yeah,
ain't given to you, so that's like, man. I think I knocked out two of them, and then the last guy or the last two like was like a unanimous decisions.
yeah,
So my thing was when I went in was I wanted to win the first round, land something
hmm,
really hard early in the fight, just to make sure like they know like, all right, if I make a mistake, it can be problems. It's gonna be
yeah.
trouble. So I just made sure that I won that first round. Yeah, I don't even think I lost any rounds, to be honest.
Yeah. You don't usually do
Nah, nah,
that.
I
All
was
your fights
I
I've seen,
dominated.
I don't see you losing much, not even exchanges.
Nah, and that's just like how I like to fight, and I'm a counter fighter too. But I'm an aggressive counter fighter, so I
Yeah.
like make sure I'm like forcing the action.
Yeah, you're an interrupting counter fighter. That's what I call. I like that's always this. I think to me that's like the best style. It's like you kind of let them go first, but you get there first,
Oh yeah.
So they're just kind of showing you what's about to be open. Like they're
Mhm.
gonna throw this, I'm gonna throw this. Yeah, I know it's a beautiful style. And then what about you ended up at the World Games too? I know that's like, it's crazy to think that there's another level even harder than fucking IFMA, but it's like, okay, well, here's the best of the best of the best of IFMA that you're gonna see this year. So, well,
it's it's 100% exactly like that.
yeah,
So like so if you've won like every year up until the World Games, if you won, if like you're qualified.
right,
So like yeah, so you can have like people that, and that's not just like the worlds. It's like they got like Pan Am's and European championships and all that stuff. So it was very high and it was fun. Like I got to fight. I fought a guy from France. I forget his name, but then I fought Vital,
mm,
and he's good. Like just the atmosphere is just crazy. Like it's like the Olympics, to be
yeah,
honest. We were surrounded by just events and sports and people. They're like we are living in a dorm, lunch, like catering, all that stuff.
yeah,
Similar to IFMA, but it's like we're in dorms, so they're shipping us, shuttling us over, and just like the fights wise, like man, it's like it was kickboxing and Muay Thai there too, so
right,
you just can feel it. Like it's the same as far as like the atmosphere, as far as like the same as IFMA, so like just everyone mean mugging and all that, and
yeah,
sizing everybody up until afterwards, and then everyone's cool. If you lost, you lost. You won, you won. Everyone's still just kicking and hanging, enjoying the experience.
yeah, yeah. We got it was supposed to be this year in Alabama, and
Yeah.
they moved it to next year.
Oh, is it next year now?
Yeah, it's next year, 2022.
Okay.
Uh, so I definitely plan to be down there hopefully with an athlete, but either way, just down there to help out and do whatever I can. I want to go check it out and just get a chance to even experience it. Like you said, I know it's got to be just craziness.
Yeah, hopefully like it's promoted well. It's like it's America. I feel like more people are more involved in sports here.
Mhm.
Just hopefully like a good turnout.
Yeah, for sure. I'm hopefully hopefully it's yeah, I'm a little worried that it's in Alabama because I'm kind of like of
Right.
all the places they could have picked to go in America, that might not be the best state to like represent us as a people. But
Yeah, I kind of agree with that. And like why people are gonna fly into Alabama? I don't know.
yeah, yeah, you know what I mean? They're gonna be like, "Oh,
I don't
this
know.
is America." I'm like, it's part of it." You know what I mean? It's, yeah, yeah. I'm not really sure how that'll go, but I mean, I'm sure just like the Olympics or any other thing they do like that, like they'll come in and make everything as nice as they can,
The
and
presentation would probably be good, but
right,
like as far as fans,
yeah, the people, yeah,
like, I don't know. Alabama has like a good, but it's football country, so it's like,
yeah,
have they heard of like what are some of those sports
like
that
ping pong and
like it was speed rock climbing.
oh shit,
They had stuff like that. They got like what was it polo, but on canoe boats.
oh wow.
So yeah, it was a bunch of different. It was a lot of different like events. So I don't know.
Yeah, that's it. I'm curious to see
Uh,
how what the reception is.
go
Yeah.
anyway.
Did you get so do you got a chance to go and check some of the other events and stuff out too
Oh yeah,
while you were there?
because me and my wife we were there, and yeah, we saw a bunch of other events. I mean, obviously before my fights, I don't tend to do anything really,
Yeah, of course.
but after I was done competing, we got to go explore a little bit. What did we watch? Yeah, the canoe polo.
Yeah.
Yeah, I met some of the dudes that was in like at lunch or something. We met some of them and like we're talking to them and like seeing what sports they did. And they were like from like I don't know, I think like Wales or England somewhere.
Yeah,
And we was like, all right, what sports do y'all do? And like the water or canoe pool or something like that.
right.
I don't even know the real name for it. And then we just went over like, all right, yeah, we gonna check y'all out. And we went over there, checked it out. There was a lot of stuff going on. It was like spread out throughout the city too. So it
Yeah,
wasn't in like every event was all in just one area. So we got to
right.
shuttle around the city and see Warsaw and just enjoy it.
Yeah, that's dope. Yeah, I when we were in Minsk, Belarus
Mhm.
for the 2017 one for Aaron the first time she was on the team, and they had a couple like little like events to take the athletes to and stuff, but we didn't go because she was still in the tournament. So we were kind of me and her are like I'm like we ain't out here to sightsee and all that shit. Like
I'm good right now.
yeah, I was like you go up to the hotel and lay down and just we're gonna chill out. We'll get up and move around a little bit, shake it out. We just gotta stay focused. So yeah,
So yeah,
looking back, obviously you kind of wish like damn it would have been cool if we went with the rest of the team and stuff like that, but
yeah, but
she was trying to get that medal.
they didn't win.
Yeah.
I mean, you got
Yeah.
sacrifices. Nothing against anybody that was on the team,
Right.
but it is what it is. Like you're able to go enjoy those things because you lost. So
Yeah, for sure.
they're sweet,
Yep.
but you're also like, I'm glad that I'm still in contention for the gold.
Yeah.
That's why I'm here.
1,000%. Yeah, I mean that's her personality no matter what anyway. She's like I'm not here to have fun, like I'm here to
Right. Well,
fight.
this is a
Yep.
business trip.
Yep.
After we got some time, we can go do a little sightseeing and all that.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I was one focus.
Yeah, Belarus was cool too. I know Janet. I asked Janet a little bit about Warsaw. She said that was really cool. She said y'all had some fun. There was like, wasn't there something where they had like some gnomes like
Yeah,
hidden
like
around the city or something?
it was like kind of like a scavenger hunt,
Okay.
and like I don't know how many gnomes were there? Like 200.
Oh shit.
Yeah, it was like 200 gnomes, and they're all like different types of gnomes. So there's like a doctor gnome, like a bakery gnome.
Yeah.
Like as you're just walking around, if you're not like looking for it, you might miss it. And
Right.
like just a small gnome, you're like, oh shit, there's one. oh, there's one on the wall over here, and you just walk in, and like the graffiti was cool, like the buildings was really dope too, like some of the buildings as old as our country. So it's just like seeing there was like bats and stuff flying
Oh
around. It
shit.
was like Dracula type stuff going
Yeah.
on. So it was dope. Yeah, we got to see a lot.
And then so getting coming home from there, I feel like you probably got a mixed bag because you'll get the people that are like, man, I should be on the team, and I could have done that, this and that. I feel like that they'll probably want to fight you to see, and then I'm sure there's probably a lot of people that are a little bit smarter that know how high level that competition is. That are like, I ain't fighting them. Was
Yeah,
it tough
I
getting
mean,
fights or when you first got back from that?
kind of, yeah. And
Yeah,
no, actually, no, because I signed with Glory right away.
yeah,
So,
that's
cause
right. It was pretty early on, huh?
we went, we went to Poland, and then we kind of like backpacked through Europe for like a month and a half, and then when we got back, we flew into New York, and I got the call from one of the Glory recruiter or scouts or whatever, and he was talking to me about getting a fight, and I'm like, all right, so I signed with them as soon as literally when I landed, and then like it didn't the fight with my first Glory fight with Paul didn't happen until maybe like 6 months later.
Mm.
So in that whole time, I was like, just actually, I had a couple fights. I had a fight, two fights
The
before
Friday night fights with Ariel, right?
I did Friday night fights. No, that was after. So I did one fight before the Glory, and I think that was a guy from Florida, Kid Rudock
Uh
was
huh.
his name. And I fought him. It was like a local show up here, just like having like a bunch of all my family and friends and people at the gym that wanted to come
Yeah.
get out. So they were there, and then I did the Glory fight, and that was just a one-off thing. So I went out there and fought the ones, and I beat him. I wish I wanted to knock him out, but he was tough. So he was a good fighter,
Yeah.
and because I was like at 100% knockout ratio at that point, so
Right.
I wanted to keep my streak, but it is what it is. He was a good fighter. And then I had the Ariel Abreu fight, and then after that, then I signed like a multi-fight deal with Glory.
Yeah. Um. And then yeah. So and then walk me through. So actually, what's crazy is, I've told I've told people this like hypothetical story like 1,000 times, and then like you pretty much lived it, and now I can be like, look at Troy, so I tell people of my, when they're coming up all the time, I'm like, you guys gotta fight these hard fights when you're an amateur. Don't take these, because there's so many people in the sport, because you can become kind of like insta famous for being in, for being a Muay Thai fighter as an amateur, and you fight a bunch of fights and get to be 20-1 or something like that, and you know 18 of those fights are people that have less than 5 fights and all that shit, and they, because people are just doing what they do, and I'm not mad at it, but like the thing that always would get to me is, will also like don't fact check sometimes. So we'll be like, oh, that person's a beast. And I'm like, they're not really a beast. They got 20 fights, but it's not really the same. They're not a beast. Troy Jones is a beast. Certain these guys are, there's people that are knocking people out and
Yeah,
at higher levels that those are a beast. But I was like, the problem is too, because they'll pad their stuff up, they also sometimes will be the people that get the opportunities. And then when they get murked, it's like, oh man, America sucks. And I'm like, no, you can't, don't bag us all up together with
feel
these
like a better
people,
way. That's the thing. Like America's so big.
Right.
It's There's so many people here. It's so spread out. It's hard to get all of the best amateurs at one spot and fighting each other at one time.
Yeah.
Not even at one time, but just in the weight class at the time. Like when I was coming up, I didn't know if I was fighting the best people or not. I just know that I'm signing up for this tournament
Yep.
and it's coming, it's about to get dropped and laid out or whatever. And and then that's why like going into IFMA and then like winning, and I'm like, oh shit, I am pretty good. Like pros.
Yeah, no, it does. Yeah, no, you put a stamp on it. I mean, you went through, fought whatever. The thing that's the thing too is doing the tournaments. You know that I feel like that says a lot about a fighter too, because that means you're willing to bet on yourself against whoever shows up your style. It's not like you can game plan and like change things and stuff like you're
Right,
showing up like this is what I do, this is what I got. I'm willing to bet it against anybody who signs up to do this, and we'll see what happens.
right. We're all paying to go,
Right.
and that's yeah, you're exactly right. Like I invested in myself. Like I spent my own money for a long time,
Yeah.
and a lot of it, and like just to travel to these tournaments, to hotel, flight, food, missing work, and all that type of stuff that goes
Yeah.
into missing time with my wife, and this is before I had kids, so I was able to do that because I didn't have kids. So I was like willing to sacrifice that time, the money, because I knew what I wanted to do, and just coming from an athletic background, like a major sport, I know you have to invest in yourself. I know you have to believe in yourself 100%. Otherwise, you're not gonna be able to make it to what you wanted to make to.
Yeah, 100%. And the other thing I always tell people too is like I'm like you also got to understand that if you do that as an amateur, then switch to pro, and then do the same thing as a pro, and like fight the easiest fights you can find, and then you make yourself look like something that you're not. They're going to give you the opportunity to find out too. That's the other thing people don't,
They
because they
want,
want an American challenger. You know what I mean?
they
And they
want
are, and
both.
I always say how they're gonna. I'm like, it always happens the same way. They're gonna be like, all right, he looks pretty good. Let's try to get him right now while they're not in like an actual camp either. So that's why I was like, literally said that to a T, and then you got the joint on like 2 weeks notice or
I
something
was
like that.
ready. I was
Yeah, well, yeah, I know you're always ready. So
got out of the fight, and I knocked him out in the first round, so I wasn't hurt.
yeah,
So it's like it was 2 weeks, but and at the same time, I was like, it wasn't enough time where I get out of shape
right. That's true.
because I was
Yeah,
like, cause I'm always like, I always, if I don't have any injuries, I'm back in the gym the next week, and not as 3 times a day as like I normally do for a camp, but I'm in there once a day,
yeah,
out of boxing, hitting the bag, running. So it's never like I was ready.
yeah.
But the only thing I will say about that, uh, what was it? So my football team, we had like a reunion, and at our old college, like just during our homecoming, and that's when I got the call. Like, all right, well, do you wanna take this fight? So I'm like drinking beers, like eating pulled pork sandwiches and stuff,
yeah,
just having fun with like my teammates that I ain't seen in years, just kicking it. And they called me. I'm like, hey, you want this fight? Like instantly, there was no hesitation. Like, yeah, I'm
yeah,
taking. We talked, negotiated everything with the contract, and then I left and went straight to the gym. Like
yeah,
I left maybe like the game was at 2. We were out hanging out probably to like 4 or 5. We were planning to hang out some more, like go out or whatever, drink or whatever. And then I left probably like 8 o'clock at night. Drove back home and just went straight to the gym and
yeah.
just I didn't work, lose some of the weight that I just put on and sweat
Right.
some stuff out, sweat the alcohol out, and I was good.
Yeah. So when you got to that fight, were you at the end of your contract with them, or was that just like a one-off
Uh,
thing that you signed for them?
I wasn't at the end, but we wanted to renegotiate for the magnitude of the fight. So
Yeah, absolutely.
made sure that I was taken care of prior to me agreeing to the fight.
That's smart. Yeah, you gotta take advantage of those opportunities financially too, for sure. So where are you at with Glory now? Are you still like with
Yep.
them kind of?
With them, I think I have like 2 years left.
Okay, cool.
Um, and I have like I'm able to fight outside of my contract too if they don't give me a fight within a certain amount of time.
Yeah.
there's no like contractual issues with me fighting for Triumphant,
Right.
or if I wanted to fight it again after this, if they haven't gotten me a fight, I'm well within the rights to take those fights. So
That's how it should be. There's some other organizations out there that don't do it that way. That really, they don't realize like how much they're really just hurting the athlete, which ultimately hurts them too. And it's frustrating because I'm like, even as like a I'm not a big time promoter or anything, but um, I'm always butting heads with other shows, just
yeah,
with like dates and stuff like that. And I'm just like, man, like when are you all gonna understand? Like, there's not a single show in America that can keep every fighter busy.
right,
It's literally not possible. You'd have to run a show every day. You know what I
yeah,
mean? Every single day. There's no way. And you probably still like there's no way you could function with that? So I don't understand
too
why
big,
they don't all work together more?
too big, too spread out. We got two different, like so many different markets for a niche sport,
Yep.
which is what kickboxing and Muay Thai is. It's a niche. It's like if you know about it, you probably like it, you probably enjoy it.
Yeah.
If you don't know about it, you don't know about it.
Yeah. Yeah. For sure. So talk to me about Triumphant. Are you excited about getting the chance to get back into Muay Thai and throw some elbows?
Oh yeah, I mean I
Yeah.
always love Muay Thai.
Yeah.
That's never gonna change. I just the opportunities are more abundant with kickboxing,
More money too, obviously, for sure.
and just it's bigger. But I always love Muay Thai, unless you're in Thailand.
Yeah.
And Muay Thai is just like that's just home for me. Like I do still train elbows and all that, clinch and everything, all that. So it's nothing gonna be different. I'm excited to get back in there just to get the ring rust off and be able
Yeah.
to step back in the ring and fight for a title, WMC title. I want it to a world title, but this would be a good start for right
Yeah.
now.
For sure. Was it tough to get a match lined up for you? I know you got a fight lined up, but
It was very tough. It
I
took a long
bet.
time, but we got somebody. And that's the thing, like, all right, this is like so frustrating. It's like all these people, like you were saying, like that. Oh, I can do that. I should have been on that team. I should have did this. I should have did that. Everybody wants their guy to be the guy. So
Uh-huh.
I'm here. If you want
Where
to
the
be,
at do?
that's simple.
Yeah.
That's simple. Like if you want to fight, we can fight. If you think you're the best in my weight class, then let's do it. Let's sign the paper. We can figure that out easy.
Mhm.
I'll never turn down a fight, and I never will turn down a fight.
Yeah. I hate that. I hate that about the game a little bit. And I've I have to sometimes had to like bite my tongue a little bit, even like when I'm matchmaking, because I'll see, because I'll reach out, I'll make notes, I'll see stuff on Facebook. I'm the best, this and that in the weight class, and I'm like, all right, bet he's the best, cool. I'm gonna write this down, and then I hit him like, hey man, I got a tournament coming up in your weight class, like let's get you in there, man. I know you're the best, so let's do it. And then it's like,
I'm
nah.
not in cam, like blah blah blah. It's all, and I'm so tired of it because like I'm at a position where no one is gonna not everyone isn't gonna want to fight me on short notice. So I understand that. So then like, all right, we got 12 weeks. You got 12 weeks notice. Like that's plenty of time for you to get in shape and do whatever you need to do, regardless of how long you've been out. You're not if you haven't been in the gym, you're not. This isn't what you really want to do. Then
Yeah.
stop fucking perpetrating.
Yeah. 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 I figured it was probably, I mean, I assume it's probably tough to get you matched up in general sometimes, but I had Geoff on like super early. I think it was like the second or third guest I had on here for the podcast, and he was telling me back then like about the show, and he was we got on the subject of you at some point, and he thought that I knew already that you were gonna be on the show. He was like he thought I got some inside scoop or something, and I was like, nah, man, you just blew up your own spot. I was like, so tell me about this. Who you got for Troy? What's going on? But he said he didn't have. I guess they were working on some people and we're having a little bit of trouble. I assumed. So yeah, that's tough. But you got somebody to step up, man. That's good. That's all that matters. You just got to go in there and do what you do.
Yeah, I'm excited about that. And just one more thing on that. And I know like wanting to fight, like I want to fight the best, and the best isn't going to be in America. Like,
Mhm.
and I know it's harder to bring in international opponents.
Yeah.
Money, you're not getting paid as much as you are over there. So I definitely understand it, but like, man, you got it. Enough is enough.
Yeah. Yeah.
Come on, man. But yeah, I'm excited about this one. The guy, I don't know too much about him. I know he fought in IFMA a couple times. I think he got a bronze in Pan Am's, I think, or and he has like a combined pro am record of like 31-2 or something like that. So it seems like he's a decent opponent,
Yeah.
someone that's game, that's gonna want to get in there. He knows Muay Thai, so he's not gonna be out here trying to like make it like an ugly fight.
Right.
Hopefully, like I want to display Muay Thai for the people that is new to tune in. I want them to see like how beautiful violence looks like. So
Yeah. For sure. That's exciting, man. I'm pumped for the whole show. I mean, the whole show is just like every day he just keeps dropping these bombshell matchups on us, and the dagger goes deeper into my soul that I can't be there live. I'm just like, God, man, there's so many good fights on there. Just all, all the people that we all kind of love. Like, I think there's a lot of personalities out there in the sport that everybody tries to get behind at least a little bit, and they're pretty much all on this event. Is there any matchups on there you're looking forward to watching yourself?
yeah, I'm like I want to see the Kevin Ross and
And
Asa like
Asa, yeah,
good fight. And I
that's
remember
gonna be a good one.
Kevin Ross is another one of the first people that I watched.
Hmm.
I was learning Muay Thai, and then like I fought in front of him at some Oklahoma tournament. He was like one of the judges, and I'm like, oh shit, that's Kevin Ross. Like
Yeah,
now I'm fighting on the same card as him, so it's dope.
that
And
is really cool.
what other ones? I want to see Luke Lisi, and Lucas.
Yeah, he's making his pro debut, right?
Both of them are making pro debuts. Both are really good
Yeah.
young fighters, so that's a good matchup. I want to see. Uh, Carol and Tara. Was it Brant?
Yeah, yeah, Tierra Brant
Tara Brant,
and
yeah,
Coral, yeah, that's gonna be a
yeah,
banger.
that's gonna be a good one too. I want to
That's
see.
gonna be a banger for sure. And yeah, Becca and Iman Barlow, that's
Oh yeah,
crazy.
that's something you want to see.
It's just like Jason Andrada's coming back,
Yeah, all the
against
every
Ty
fight
Barlow.
really on. I don't know if there's an undercard or anything, but every card that's on the main card or like the main event, the co-main, and every other one on there is
It's
essentially
like main event status. Yeah,
all
that's
of
awesome.
them could be main events.
Yeah,
Anywhere in the country could be a main event. So
yeah. Jeff put his foot in this thing, man. He's not playing around. It goes to show too, just how people that really love it are just want to get back in there.
hmm
I think that's the other thing that makes it the show such an exciting event, is that, like you said, these are all people that could be main events, could hold off and just be like, oh, I want to wait for whatever and want to be bougie about it, but they're just people that really want to fight and love it, are all, I feel like, on this card.
ready to take a tough fight.
Yeah, 100%. I'm pumped
But
for it.
every one of these fights, everyone would. I know for a fact that everyone said yes on the first go.
Yeah, 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 because they're all like names fighting names on there. Yeah, that's wild, man. It's kind of unheard of almost in a way. And it's exciting too, because I was told, like, there was maybe like 2015 to 2017, I feel like, was like my favorite era of the sport just in America, because like Lion Fight was like
hmm
really big right then, and Glory was like just had all their stuff going on, and it was like exciting. It was like, all right, there's like a future in this right now. Like, we could go to Lion Fight, we could go to Glory, like who knows what other stuff's gonna pop up. The tournaments were popping. You had one goal, Janet was doing big things, like the teams were doing better at IFMA. There was just like a lot of excitement going on. I feel like it tapered off a little bit, and now I feel like with Jeff, and then a lot of the other stuff that's going on behind the scenes, like it's starting to ramp back up again, which is exciting to see for the sport. Just some opportunities coming back into play for people to actually feel like they can do this for for real, not just like as a hobby.
And that's the thing, like to get to be the best or be amongst the best in the world, you can't treat it as a hobby. It has to be. That's why I made sure I had to quit my job and pursue this 100%, even though I was sacrificing making money, sacrificing time that I'll be spending, stuff that I won't be able to get back. But what I wanted to do was be one of the best, and I needed to. I'm still making those sacrifices to this day. So
Hmm.
until I'm retired, what the situation will be.
Yeah.
It's necessary to be at the top. Like there's no shortcuts. You can't just take take a fight here and there or train here and there. You got to be 100% dedicated because you
Yeah.
can. This is a fight. You can get hurt. My thing was like, if I'm gonna get in there and risk my health, like I better be going in there well prepared. And like I know, like burning the candle at both ends was getting tough for me.
Yeah.
I had to make a decision, like, and it was just my mental health too, just like not stressing about, oh, I gotta go to work, or like, oh, I'm so tired that I literally gotta go home, eat, change, and go to work or something like that. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's necessary.
Yeah, it's an interesting dynamic because I feel like it a lot of times it comes down to the personality of the athlete too, because you'll see some fighters also, well, it might also even just relate to your skill, because you see some fighters that will um quit their job and try to pursue it, and then end up um they'll end up taking fights for money that they shouldn't have taken, and then they kind of, once they kind of go down that route, they're just like in trouble, and
Like
they
taking big fights for money.
just any fights, I feel like, and but they don't have the, they'll just take in, just it's not the best thing at the time or whatever. They don't have the skill to like go
And
in
then,
there like you do, where like, there's a good chance you're gonna win. You put the work in, you got the talent and stuff like that, and they're taking those fights that are gonna kind of, they might lose bad, and then their stock goes down or whatever it is. So
like, yeah, you have to. That's like you have to prove yourself too.
mhm.
I didn't just jump off the ship and be like, all right, I'm just about to quit my job
Yeah.
and go all in. Like it was calculated. I made an educated decision with my wife and
Yeah.
myself. It wasn't just like, oh, just about to jump out of the blue and like, oh yeah, I'm going pro now because I had 15 fights. No, I've had 50 amateur fights
Yeah.
where I quit. I was in the sport. I won a couple gold medals. I was qualified for the World Games. And then the thing where like I wanted to pursue Muay Thai. So I'm like, me and my wife, we talked about it. I'm like, all right, I need to move to Thailand. And so we decided that we were gonna move to Thailand.
Yeah.
And that was after I had already proved myself and done. Can you grab that too? The monitor? Yeah, I had to prove where I proved all that. So then that's when I made that decision.
No, I feel like the choice was a pretty safe bet.
Yeah.
Based off your accolades and your results and stuff like that. If I was your coach and you said, "What do you think?" I'd be like, "Yeah, I think you'll be all right." You know?
Right. But some
Yeah.
people like started this way earlier than I did, like
Yeah, for sure.
able to prove themselves as they're growing up and then still get a good job or whatever and be able to balance it. Like for me, I started after I graduated before I
Mhm.
even got like a career.
Yeah.
Like, all right, I'm gonna just do this and see what happens. So there's
Yeah.
like Janet, like what is she like a rocket scientist or something?
What's that?
Janet, she's like a
Oh,
rocket.
yeah, yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Like she she's able to balance her career and fight at the highest level.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. I know my wife, she's a PhD from Johns
Right,
Hopkins and works at the NIH and stuff like that. And like I said, I like quit my car salesman job to teach Muay Thai 4 times a week so I could train
right,
full time.
right, right. So it's
Yeah.
different. Like people are like, you can't. look at someone else and be like, all right, I'm gonna do what they did because my situation is different from your situation
Absolutely. Yeah.
and everyone else's situation. So it's just like you got to be real with yourself. One, you have to find counsel from your coaches, your spouse, your significant other, and you have to make that decision with like an educated decision.
Yeah, for sure.
Like I see
Absolutely.
it happen with like football. Like everyone wants to go to the NFL. Everyone wants to do this. Everyone at the D1, D2, D3. I played at D2, so the odds of me making it to the league are slim. But at the time, I knew 100% I was going.
Yeah.
But was I putting in the work? Probably not.
Yeah.
At that D2, I was worried. Was I going to more parties than I was going to the gym, or was I check out some girls or whatever? Yeah. So you have to be real with yourself, and you have
Yeah.
to know, like, all right, am I putting in the amount of work that it takes to pursue this at the highest level?
Yeah, I agree. What's is there anybody on the radar fight wise? Like, is there anybody you're gunning for out there right now?
Uh, man, no, I don't really. It don't really matter. Like, I want to fight the best. Like, so, like, I want to fight the top 10 in Glory. I want to fight whoever the best. I want to find titles. I want to get titles. So whoever they put in front of me, it doesn't matter to me. I'm not like I'm after you. Like, no, I'm not like that. Like, if we sign to fight, then it's time we gonna fight. But that's not my job.
Yeah.
Like, I'm here to train, and I'm gonna train. Some of y'all get the fights.
Right.
Like, it's simpler for that for me.
Do you have a manager, or do you do all that stuff with your coach?
I do it myself. I am going through the process of finding some managers or a manager, but I'm not in a rush. Like, because I've gotten to this point. I've had help a lot, of course, along the way. Um, but yeah, I'm happy with where I'm at, and just going forward, like I want to get into MMA. So I'm gonna need a manager for that because I don't know anybody. Like, I don't know the MMA community like I do with Muay Thai and kickboxing. So I don't
Yeah.
need that will be able to
I'm gonna
facilitate.
have to I'm gonna have to plug you in with my guy then my Brian Butler from Sucker Punch, man. That's the guy.
Okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, I've talked to a couple from is it Iridium?
Yeah, I know Iridium.
Then like some smaller ones. I'm not really sure what route I want to take yet,
Yeah.
but like as far as like going with like a big company or like a smaller one where I'm more of a priority,
Mhm.
I'm not sure yet.
Yeah. Well, I'll link you and Brian sometime so you guys can talk. He's good people, man. He's real good people. Yeah, he's helped out a bunch of my guys. We actually had him on the show too. I mean, he's good. He's like actually one of the real like not shady like scumbaggy type managers I feel like I've
Yeah,
ever met in the
like
game.
I'm trying to avoid.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah. Hopefully you would hope that all the fighters would, but there's just a lot out there. There's a lot of guys out there in that business though, and then it's hard. I'm sure it's hard to tell. Obviously, they're going to put on their
Yeah,
best
that's why
face.
I'm not in a rush because
Yeah, no, that's smart.
I can get local MMA fights to get my I can get myself local MMA fights to get
Yeah,
started, but it's after that is what I would need.
yeah. Where do you go in the in between stage and getting like whether there's the contender series or something like that.
Right, and
The
LFA is up here all the time, so it's like my gym has had a lot of people on LFA and RFA, all those. So it's not like I need to like need a manager for those,
no,
but just to manage like what happens next and like sponsorships and stuff like that that
yeah,
goes
for sure.
with it. So
Yeah, I'll link you guys up just so you can talk or whatever. Like I said, he's good people. I definitely vouch. Matter of fact, we had my fighter Gary Mack kind of he had taken some time off because he had a baby and he was like kind of coming back ready to get back in the game a little bit. And
I know Gary. I follow him on Instagram.
you did, I think you guys told me you guys have talked a couple times and stuff
Yep.
too. Even he we all, like I said, we're all big fans over here at Level Up. But yeah, I hooked him up with Brian because we were thinking about taking Gary the MMA route. He was helping Sadiq Yusuf get ready for a couple fights in the UFC. We're going over there to spar and stuff, um and Brian had us, the three of us all met up, and we had a long, I won't put all of our stuff out there, but he wanted to talk to Gary and like remind him like how important it is to like, stick with not him, me. He's like, with your coach, like
Oh,
keep the people close to you now, and don't let the other people come in. Like he's just a real dude. So I
yeah,
think you guys would get along.
that I've been at the same gym since I started. So
Yeah, I know you're definitely that type of guy. So that's dope. And then so I only got a couple more. I won't keep it forever. So are you a big wrestling fan or just a big Ric Flair fan?
both. I like
Yeah.
Rick. But yeah, wrestling in general. Yeah, my uncles used to put me on game with that. I remember just getting put in the figure four leg locks because like my uncle, he's only 6 years older than me,
Mhm.
so we were close in age. I was like pretty much like a little brother. So like I always get beat up like watching wrestling, Undertaker, and all that, Power Drivers, all that stuff. So I was a big wrestling fan as a kid. So that's why like you talking about the Ric Flair, yeah. Yeah, so that's what. Yeah, funny thing about that was I was listening to Ric Flair "Drip" by the Migos or off
uh
before that, so that's what like kind of put it in my head. Like,
Nah, that was dope. I was like, "Oh, that's a Ric Flair." Yeah.
I know some hardcore heads would pick up on it. I ain't too sure about the casuals.
Nah, it hit right with the right people for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah, nah, that was tight, man. I
I
was
can
like,
see that
"Oh
being
shit."
advice too.
Yeah. Nah, that's dope, man. He'll get you hype, man. Rick will get you hype. I like watching his videos just to get into a good mood sometimes even too. And
Yeah.
do you still do stuff with Muay Thai Addict? Are you
Oh
still
yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah,
That's family right there.
that's what I'm saying too, man. I've been with them since almost the entire time the gym's been open. That's all I've ever done. You
Yeah,
can
I've
see
been
right here.
with them for a long time. So
Yeah,
yeah, I still got stuff with them. Some stuff about to drop too.
yeah.
Uh,
You got some fresh stuff coming for the triumphant fight.
that yeah, yeah, I do for sure.
Nice.
But I also had because I was supposed to fight right 2 weeks before like we went on lockdown, so I have like a whole fresh like custom fit that hasn't even been used yet. So I'm
Oh
like,
damn.
yeah,
You been waiting to bust it out.
been waiting. It's still in the plastic.
Yeah, those are my boys, man. Dimitri especially. I feel like him and I have been just hit it off back when I was just ordering shorts because literally, legitimately like the fit and everything that
Yeah,
they put together. I felt like they were a little bit different.
yeah, the design
Um,
is really dope.
super
Like
dope.
like a lot of different stuff like for everybody. So it's
Yeah.
like I got everything really, pretty much everything they have. I have it, so it's like perfect.
Yeah, they're fire. Any other brands that you're working with at all?
Yeah, I work with Combat Corner too. They give me like my gear, like my gloves, shin guards, knee pads, some shorts and shirts here and there.
Yeah.
Um, that's pretty much it for brands. But like my trainers, Game Face Training, I've been with them probably like 4 years since I got back from Thailand. So it's 2016,
Yeah.
and then the academy was of course. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Zebra mats too. They
Yeah.
cover like everything that I have, like my home gym. Like they hooked me up, make sure I was good, and be able to train whenever I wanted. I
That's
just
dope.
step out into the garage and put some work in.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, I was like, especially when we talk to the athletes, try to bring up any of the brands that are helping you guys out at the end, so we can just give them some more love. And especially Muay Thai Addict, gotta show out lots
Yeah,
of love to Muay Thai Addict, man. They take good care of me. I got a new canvas in my ring, like right before all the craziness went down too.
yeah.
So they took care of me on that too, which was awesome. That's fresh. Well, that's it. That's all I got, brother. I don't want to keep you forever. I really do appreciate you coming on. I've been excited to, since I started this, I was like, I got to get Troy on, and it's now seemed like the perfect time with the fight coming up and everything.
Yeah,
Just wanted to catch up and get some more people to know your backstory and all that good stuff, and hopefully it'll help get some more eyes on this upcoming event, man. If I'm telling you guys are missing out a historic event if you miss on this. It's Fight TV pay-per-view. You got to tune in and check out all these fights. It's gonna be vicious.
if you like knockouts, come on down. I like candy.
Hell yeah. Awesome, brother. Well, thank you again so much for coming on. I really appreciate catching up with you and everything, and I'll definitely be in touch soon.
All right, bro. Appreciate it.